Greetings from right outside of Apache Junction, Arizona. Today I'm going to do some exploration of the Lost Dutchman State Park. I'm going to be hiking a trail, not with a really solid plan, but I want to just kind of head off in that general direction. And I was given the recommendation by a ranger of trying out the Siphon Draw Trail. I'm supposed to be able to hike to a point where there's a small waterfall, and that's really what I'm seeking out today. I just want to get out there in the desert, look for wildlife. It's pretty early, and see what we see. So if you want to find out, join me. Love to have you along. So I camped here last night. Was here doing one of my campground guide episodes. Got up early. It's still within the 7 o'clock hour, and it's beautiful. And that's what I'm doing. I'm just gonna go explore a little bit. You can see the sun starting to pop up over this mountain here. See it out over there. It's really pretty. And right over there, those are actually cabins you can rent here at Lost Dutchman State Park. They actually look pretty nice. I have to think about that. So here's some signage explaining my plan to you today, my very loose plan. Last night, by the way, I camped here. You can see I'm right here right now, so I'm not far. I was at site 108. If you want to see a video about that, by the way, and check out the campground, I'll put a link in the description down below. But anyway, right now I'm here, and I'm going to be heading up this trail. And I'm going to be hiking it until I find a waterfall. That's my goal. I think it's about a 2-mile round trip journey. The ranger said pretty easy. So I don't really, at this point I don't want to give you stats on the trail because I really don't know how far I'm going to be going. I do know at some point there's something called the Flatiron, which is a much more brutal hike with a lot of bouldering and stuff. I'm going to come back and do that at some point. But for the time being, I thought let's just take it easy this morning and enjoy the desert. So far, I would say my favorite aspect of this is just walking back towards this very beautiful scene. This place, I've seen this, you could see the Superstition Mountains from some of the major highways here in the Phoenix area. I've never been up this close, to be honest with you, before, so this is a treat. Some of the creatures that you may see out here, according to the information they give you at the visitor center, would include mule deer, gray fox. Doubtful you're gonna see them during the day though. I've never seen one ever. Even bobcats, which once again, you might have a chance in the really early morning hours seeing one of those. They're typically out at night or around sunset too. And some other critters. I'm doubtful that we're gonna see rattlesnake today. It's pretty cold. Although the ranger did say someone hiked up to Flatiron yesterday and was climbing up one of the rocks and almost kissed a rattlesnake, as she put it. So they're starting to come out. It's very early March, so you want to keep an eye out, but it's pretty cold right now, so I'm doubtful they'd be out. And if I look off this direction, approximately east, you can see Four Peaks from here very clearly. One thing I really like about this park, by the way, is if you're into mountain biking, they've got lots of mountain biking trails, and it's very bike friendly. I also love how they have these benches set up all around facing the scenery. So you can just come back here, sit down, and just relax. So this threw me off for a second. I came to this fence, and you can see a sign right in the background saying we're about to enter the Tonto National Forest. And there's a trail going this way, and a fence, a barbed wire fence. So I'm like, oh my, you don't get to go back there? I think you do. You just have to actually go this way. There is a sign saying the trail goes this way. It's just been faded with time. So fret not, this appears to be the way to go. And that sign, there's a sign back there saying we've now entered the Superstition Wilderness. Gonna go find that Lost Dutchman's gold. So one of the cool things about this area back here in this wilderness, that many of you probably know about already, is the legend of the Lost Dutchman's Mine. The state park is named Lost Dutchman State Park, in fact. So who is this Lost Dutchman? Well, his name was Jacob Waltz. He was a miner back in the 1800s, And it's thought that he found a gold mine somewhere in the Superstition Wilderness. Now this is a very vast and large area. This is just a small part of it, the beginning of it. So many think his gold is still out there. Nobody ever found this mine. People will seek it out. People actually die out here looking for it because of the harsh conditions. So yeah, kind of a neat story around this place. Now me personally, I've heard that Jacob Waltz worked at Vulture Mine out in Wickenburg, which you can actually visit today. And some think that he actually was high grading, stealing high graded ore and transporting it and dumping it along a route between Wickenburg and Phoenix. And he would show the gold and say that he found it at his secret mine when he actually stole it. That to me seems a lot more feasible and realistic. Not as fun though. And we're close to the base of these mountains. I turn around, you can really get a good view looking out towards Phoenix. And you can actually see a lot of smog, that gray layer floating around out there. Not sure if that comes out on camera. And looking this direction, off that a ways is the town of Goldfield, an old ghost town tourist attraction. Haven't visited that yet, but Amy and I will make our way out to that sometime soon, I'm sure. Yeah, this does not disappoint. This is a fine hike. Now, probably worthy to note, I still have a full cell phone signal out here. Well, almost full. I'm with Verizon, and I've got 3 bars of LTE up here. I'm getting pretty far from the town below there, but the cell phone coverage is still going strong. That's pretty neat. That really bright green moss or lichen. You know what that looks like? It's very reminiscent of the stuff that grows on the rocks at Chiricahua National Monument. You see that everywhere there. I wonder if it's the same stuff. And if you want to see a video about Chiricahua, I've done a couple videos about that place. If you want to see more of this very bright neon green lichen, is what I'm calling it anyway, check one of those videos out. I'll put a link in the description down below. Now you have to pardon my ignorance here. I've never visited here. Is that the Flatiron up ahead? Any of you that have hiked this Flatiron Trail? I know it's supposed to be pretty intense, and I'm gonna do it soon. That kind of looks like an iron to me for some reason, so wondering if that is the feature known as the Flatiron. You know, as I'm walking up this thing, I realized I didn't know what I was missing all these years living out here. Never bothering to visit here. It is pretty far from my house, probably over an hour away. So, like for a casual Saturday hike close to home, it's a little far, but I will absolutely be back. This is probably my favorite area here in the Phoenix area, for sure. I like this lone rock structure here, kind of playing the sentinel, keeping an eye on all the happenings down below. So unfortunately, the sun has now fully come up, and I can't point the camera that direction because everything's washed out. But that one structure I inquired about earlier as to whether or not it was Flatiron, got confirmation that it is from another hiker, and he said the waterfall is not far. There's a steep ascent I have to make, and he said not too far, I should see it. And he said there is water. I mean, it's nothing that's gonna blow my mind, I don't think, but it's a worthy goal, I'd say. Nice little hike here. It was hard to film facing towards the sun, but you can see the trail up this way is near the waterfall. It's pretty rocky, some boulders you have to climb over. Still pretty easy in my opinion, but you do go up a pretty steep ascent right over there. Get your heart rate up, but I think just about anybody can get it done. So that's my destination right there. Not sure if the sun's gonna make it too hard to see. I wouldn't really call that a waterfall. I guess it maybe is. It's really small. I didn't expect anything grandiose, to be honest. I assume it would flow a lot faster if it had rained. But that's my destination. Get a pretty good view of Flatiron from down here, as well as the waterfall. And here's a really nice perspective of how far we've come. Can't see the campground anymore, but the houses down there are not far. Campground's off kind of a ways to the right. But that really nicely frames the valley below, doesn't it? Alrighty, that there's the waterfall, and unfortunately that's my stop for the day. I have to head back. There's a lot of people going all the way up to the top, all ages and fitness levels. Heard people talking, they say if you take your time, pretty much anybody can do it, and I really want to do this today. I have another location to be at though early afternoon, so unfortunately I gotta head back down, but I will be back. And coming back down is almost as good as going back up. You get to enjoy the views. You can see for miles. In fact, I can see Camelback Mountain, and I don't know if those are the McDowells beyond that. It's pretty hazy today, but yeah, I actually can see downtown Phoenix too. So, a word of advice to you, wear hiking boots. Something with ankle support here. I did not, because I mistakenly thought this would not climb as high as it did through the kind of terrain that it did. I'm doing fine, haven't twisted my ankle yet, and I'm starting to get past the worst parts, but it's funny because I did bring my hiking boots with me. I was just too lazy this morning. I was like, I'll just wear the sneakers. I got it done no problem, but yeah, I would have appreciated a little bit more ankle support as a precaution. All right, so I'm heading back down now. I've got to go pack up my campsite and head to a new location later today. Busy guy these days. Anyway, yeah, the Siphon Draw Trail up to the waterfall portion. I think the ranger gave me a really good recommendation based on the amount of time that I had. It was a perfect morning hike. If you can get out here in early March or maybe to mid-March, you get all these wildflowers as you get up further higher in elevation, and boy, is it a sight to see up against those mountains there. The waterfall itself was okay, it was pretty cool, but it's not gonna blow your mind, but it makes a respectable turning around point if you don't have time or the desire to climb Flatiron. I will be back though to tackle Flatiron, hopefully sometime really soon. Anyway, try to make it out to Lost Dutchman State Park, and I'm pretty sure you won't be disappointed. As always, if you like this adventure, please like, share, and subscribe, and look us up on social media at Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram under the name Cactus Atlas.